Okay, greetings. Okay, I haven't done one of these in ages. Uh, Alien Disclosure. I'm not sure if it's gonna be an update. We just tap into the energies of it. Tap into the ET disclosure energies, and not that when it will happen or anything like that. Just the energy of it in general, and at least those that are opening up their intuitive abilities and their psychic abilities and so on. That's probably the same thing, but either way, that's how you make that disclosure. And trusting yourself, it's soul growth basically. And you don't have to prove it to anybody or anything like that, because obviously society needs you to prove everything to them, but they prove love and confidence, especially with the government and everything here. But whatever, that's growth. No judgment there. So some need to learn hard. You need to learn the hard way. You learn the easy way. Obviously, there's a lot of hard ways that need to be learned. Obviously, yeah. So not that everybody needs to understand this type of energy. It's not for everybody. It's just like religion. That's not for everybody. Aliens are not for everybody. Ghosts are not for everybody. So being a preacher of it probably won't work. Probably won't go very far. Yeah, there's a lot of judgment out there, that's for sure. So just tap into the frequencies of it. Also, secret space program. I just heard that come up. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are obsessed with it, and some are healing from it, which is understood. That's a whole different deal when you feel like you're being attacked by it, and when you feel like there's forces there that are messing with it. That's different. It's looking for you. You're not looking for it. That's different. And there's a good portion of that. When you're just looking for it and you're digging for trouble and you're trying to tap into it because you have nothing better to do, you're bored or lonely or whatever it is, there's a lot of that going on. They become obsessed with it and start probably creating things that are not even real, at least in that realm. But either way, it's another soul growth energy. But those that are being tortured by it feel like they're being programs and all that. Yeah, it's definitely, it takes very seriously. It's not something they can go to just anybody to diagnose or anything like that. Obviously, you can't just go to a doctor and remove these implants or whatever is going on. Yeah, those things are very serious. So, but then there's still like two different parts of the secret space program. Those that are going through traumas of it currently and don't need to have a conference talk, don't have to write books about it. Just need to heal from it. And there's others that are just, I don't know, just created just got fell into it, just won't let it go, and writing books about it and profiting off of it and whatever. More power to you on that one. But the more the trauma side is more the part to take seriously, because you can't. I mean, those are trying to heal from it, but then there's others that just grew up in a dull life and get pulled into it. And there's another, trying to become an expert of it and everything. I don't know. It just gets complicated out there. It's not easy. It's a touchy subject, obviously. And then there are also podcasters out there that try to profit from it. And that's why they talk about it so often, because they know there's bank to be made there. And then they, the universe can see it all. It can see when your people are screwing around, especially those that feel like they're the expert of everything, the galactic ambassador of the planet. It's freaking nuts. Somebody should give themselves that title. We're power to on that one. Yeah, well, but yeah. Anyway, going to also Great Buddha. This is in Japan. Your moment of Zen, just connecting to just, putting all the differences aside and just connecting to the energies of just the healing frequency of it. Take it or leave it, but just to, connect to something different. Let's put it that way. Somebody's here. Let's make we're in. All right. That's the best I can do. See how long it'll last. Priscilla, say hi. You okay? Fritzy's sleeping somewhere. So, okay, all right, we're going to. Hopefully, she's giving the background a break today. We'll see about that. She gets bored. So, all right, this is the I'm talking to comment prep sessions. Schedule and the shop here. Let's keep it short there. Okay. Okay, all right, we got Priscilla to help here. And the oldest cat. Let's see if I can do this with her sitting here. I got my tail. I'm all set. So I'm not sure what she's doing. So, okay, we're going to ETA disclosure, secret space program energies, or what else it needs to go there for that, and the Buddha frequency. All right, cat, figure out your path. Okay. All right, Mustangs, here we go. Agrees with ET consciousness. Of course, there's the spiritual energies and there's the human energy, especially those humans that are going through a lot of toxic growth. Some that are extremely wealthy can have a lot of toxic energy, especially when they're not getting what they want. And so they think they can control reality and not realize it, that they're trying to do that. Some are going with the flow, which is healthy, but there's many that are in just, they feel like they can humanize the spirit realms and get what they want to know. Yes, there's spying on their friends and things like that using spiritual energies. That doesn't always work. And sometimes there is sabotage there to just mind your own business, because some are trying to spy on their friends using psychic abilities and so on. And humanity, that's always going to be plaguing society. It's not never going to let go from what we can pick up on. As for alien disclosure frequencies, well, the idea is to live between two different worlds, your world and the spirit realms. And yes, there's a form of trust you have to develop. That's entirely up to you. But some of you are tapping into an accurate frequency. Once again, there are several accurate frequencies. There's all different multidimensional realms that there are humans still having difficult to process that even exists. There's always going to be different points of view. And not everything needs to be disclosed here on a physical level, such as the origins of the grays, the origins of many of these beings, especially the origins of your reality. You'll see different versions of it, but the accurate one many times keeps itself hidden. Well, because the truth can cause some difficulties in your modern reality. Some can't handle it. It's not as positive as some would like it to be. Some of you have access to portions of it, and it's like, yes, you're kind of like remote viewing or going back to that time period, and it's not any type of creation process is never easy. There's a growth spur to it. And as some of you in your own lives, you don't want to look back at your younger years. It's like, wow, what was I thinking back then? And there's a lot of that has to do with human growth too. The ancient times where it wasn't as pleasant. There's a beauty to it, yes. But do you need to remember all those things, the hardships during those times? Let's put it that way. Especially Atlantean energies, a lot of that's kept from you. Some of you are tapping into it, but a lot of it is still kept away because of the traumas of it. As you go forward and heal, connect more to your spirit vibrations, even connect more to your longevity here, or as you get closer to your exit here, you'll see more, depending of if it helps you in your incarnation. So basically, alien disclosure basically is just being aware of the spirit realm. Some can't always access it. That's done on purpose. Is it that important? Well, if it comes naturally to you, there's a reason for it to be there. If it doesn't come naturally to you, you have other things to do. You still tap into the frequencies, but you just have a different journey here. It's not a big deal. Some make it like it's detrimental if they can't connect to that alien frequencies or even the angelic realms or spirit realms in general. So it's just that there are beings trying to keep you here in the physical, but you can always cut through that. But that, there's a war here, as you can see, and they don't want you always seeing what's happening behind the scenes. Well, it can not necessarily. It can take you off your track if you find a way to see it. It can also cause you a lot of traumas that are not necessary. So be surprised how you're being protected. Now, some might have difficulties with that. Why don't you know this? Why don't you know that? And then you get mad because they're being kept from their energies around. But just the way it is. But you signed up for this. An idea is to keep you mentally safe, because as some of you know, you connect more to the fourth dimension, thinking clearly is going to be gone. It's like you won't be able to concentrate on the physical realm. If you concentrate on more fifth, sixth, 10th dimensional realms, and there'll be a lot of mental illness, because first off, as a human, you can't handle it all. Some of you have already cracked your heads open to a certain level to see those realms at a certain level. And obviously living here in the physical is becoming impossible. So sometimes it's better. The less you know, the better. Those that claim they know everything, that's some psychology energies. Like they need to, it's a mental health situation. They feel better thinking they know everything, even if they have no idea. Some here are being manipulated by alien beings, and for them, that is comfort. At least somebody's watching their back. It sounds a little strange there, but at least it's like having a gang of like having a gang around you just as a protection. Well, to give you an idea why some of these cults are created is, this is one way of looking at it. Not everybody's going to enjoy it, but it's why some of these cults are some of these beings here that even channel energies are popular. Some of them are very vulnerable. They're weak. And so if they join like a gang or being taken over by an alien force, and the life becomes halfway decent for them, they'll do it. Even if there is, consequences to it. So you wonder why there's corruption here. Well, if the channeler, and this is talking about the physical one, or a spiritual teacher, whatever it might be, they can't handle this reality, but they kind of sell themselves out and help the galactic gang lord, the wards, the gang lord, or whatever word you want to use there, the posse, and then they see a positive side too. Of course you are, especially like I say, if you're weak here physically, you connect to manipulative alien beings. As long as they're taking care of you physically, it's like on the mafia. All of a sudden you see the good side, and there is good sides of everything. That is true, but then in the long run, there is an agreement that isn't exactly helping society. But is society going to catch in on it? Is going to figure it out? Some do, most don't, that are in these realms, because they have their own issues also. They can't handle this reality either. So they just have a nice, happy mafia alien family. So that's how it works. Now, yes, these alien families can manipulate society, manipulate a great deal. Now you can't get good information there sometimes, as long as you get out of the manipulative messages. So obviously, we're talking a cryptic here. But once again, connecting more to your multidimensional self, it's simple if it's coming to you naturally. Yes, go with it. If it's not, if you just need to tap into it, that's quite fine also. But there's a lot sometimes that, yeah, you're better off not knowing, as some are alien obsessed and just want to connect to them. Is like, yes, we know that, but you need to focus on your physical realm, and we'll be here in the back, you know, behind the scenes. So blessings. Gracie, we're the Galactic Federations. We are several of them with the Secret Space Program. Yes, of course, there's a great deal going on with that energy. Those of you, see, those that are obsessed with it, some of you begin your energy's hijacked by it, and there's even a victim energy there for some that can't seem to break free. Those of you that are going through traumas, yes, it could go for some time. Of course, some of you can just tap into those realms. It's like that's where I feel at home. There's a lot of that going on. Understood. There's some. I mean, if it's harmless connections and you just know it's real and you just feel like that world makes more sense than this one, then again, neither world makes any sense really when again it comes down to it. But there are those of you that tap into the secret space program and just go there to hang out. Yes, there's galactic wars and all that. You don't need to know about all those things. I mean, some of you have some idea. Well, it's just hanging out and just feeling like you're whole there. And other than this reality where everything is at a standstill, and that has to do with the secret space. It has to do with so many factors that can't even be comprehended here in the physical. Yes, it goes back to the universe, the difficulties within the universe. You have the God realms, which are many of those. They're obsessed with this world, beings that just want to keep this world at its low frequency, at least for now. Not for you to learn your lessons. A lot of it has to do with just a possession of a planet and to feed off its frequency. And the beings that are holding on to this world, yes, have a lot of issues and don't really care about that. Yes, they have not. Yes, they have not made a kids cartoon about it just yet. Not really. They're not about to either. But it's beings that are just, yes, they are godlike beings that just have a grudge against all things, you can say. Well, they feel like they have a purpose here also, and you can't get rid of them. Let's put it that way. Yes, they have their defenses up. They'll fight everybody around. This is not your typical secret space program to have energy. This is actually beyond that. We're doing beings that the secret space program beings can hear and see. They know something's out there, but they can't always see it. Not to say you need to. So there are just forces out there. Once again, godlike beings that feel like they have a purpose here, and light is not their purpose. And they will do everything they can to stay in power. And you're seeing that here. It's not on all worlds. It does influence others, but this one opened up the dimensions for it to coexist with it. There's a lot more to it than that. So for some of you in your journeys, yes, you will access this information, always a version of it or the accurate vibrations of it, and see a self-obsessive entities that are extremely powerful. Yeah, we don't recommend tapping into it too long, but that's up to you. Well, they're not going to exactly tell you about themselves or anything like that. But these are powerful beings. There is, of course, Elohim here. There's a lot of other energies here, and of course they're helping guiding society through all this, or alien societies, spirit societies, because spirits realize I do need this lesson. So yes, creature down there. So blessings. Greetings. This is Buddha. Blessings. The consciousness of Buddha. The idea, yes, to know more about yourself, but what you're allowing yourself to see. There's actually many different versions of yourselves, and the peaceful one is usually the easiest one to happen. Well, sometimes there's a double version of yourselves, a neutral version of yourselves, all these different versions. You have 19, 20 different versions. All depends on what you want to bring in. Some have a reptilian version, some have a victim side that they can't quite let go of. And that goes on and on. And well, yes, it's there's a lot of diversity here. It's not just race or skin color. It goes so much beyond that. Multi-dimensional energies. Yes, you do have some of these gangs that are here. These and some of them are showing just how powerful they are. Because in other lifetimes they felt very weak. In this lifetime, they're showing their power. As for the alien frequencies that are doing this, yeah, they're just taking advantage of those that are weak. Once again. On a multi-dimensional level, it's a little bit difficult to call them out. Obviously, astrally, you do call them out. Well, the idea also, okay, so you connect to a criminal element in the fourth dimension that's manipulating society here in the physical. It's like you wonder why they continue on. For some, they are. It's like, okay, we might not have the best intentions towards anyone, but we will do some good while we're doing some bad at the same time. That's similar to how your elites stay in power. It's like, okay, we'll do some good, but then we'll just sneak something in that's very manipulative. Of course, their karma's not going to do well with that, but that's why they still exist. But then again, yeah, some do sell themselves out at a grand level and not realizing it. Yeah, and that will, some of you, if you need to see that, you will see it. But as for your grand journey here in this incarnation, yes, we can tap more into your multidimensional selves. Hopefully the more positive side, but sometimes the anger side has to come through. Of course, there is a timeline shift always occurring, but sometimes there's a major shift. Sometimes that shift is there to block you. Sometimes it's there to help things move along. Some of you that feel like you're in a desert period, there are sometimes timelines fighting against you to be more prosperous and to move forward. And you just have to keep us on fighting, eventually get to where you need to go. Well, sometimes timelines come in kind of like another train comes in, and you thought things are going to start to change, and all of a sudden this new event occurred or whatever it might be. It just feel like there was a shift, and now you have to wait some more. Doesn't mean it has to be for everyone, but and also for some of you are trying to make it in the world, like even with your knowledge. Is the world ready for it? Are you ready for it? Is the world ready for it? The world's not always asking for a lot. I mean, it's asking for, yes, conspiracies and all that, because it's the conspiracy energy is just like, that's for society. It's like, yeah, we know something's going on. And it does have like a special energy to that for a while until it gets boring after a while. But there is a spiritual war going on a massive scale. It doesn't mean you need to know too much into it, because you can't pull into it deeply. You can lose yourself. It's good to, yes, have a nice dinner, have a nice time, enjoy nature, whatever it is that connects to you. It does help you relax your frequencies, because some that are on a constant flight, for them, that they like the adrenaline. They like the fight. They like to be angry. Some do, at least in the media, without using who that is or person. Some just, and there is a lot of truth there also. But then there's also a theater version of it too. Like they're putting more theater action drama side to it, which, you don't necessarily have to do that, but some need to, it's kind of like your disclosure clowns, you can say. They just have to, melodramatic energies. Maybe even say it's worse than it really is, which is a lot of that going on, especially when you have with your health situation that can occur. Some are over exaggerating. I mean, yes, there is a lot of truth there, but some are over exaggerating. They're going to come get us again and all that. And you have to be careful of those energies. Like, you know, you can only cry wolf so many times. And there's many that have cried wolf many times. Some of you have caught it. And just like, it's not going to be an easy, it's always going to be some kind of challenges, but you can't always see those challenges coming. And those are the ones that's really, and you just can't do anything about it. But that's the real challenge. What you don't know. And that's, others who, oh, we have it all figured out what's going to happen in the future, and it doesn't happen. You do bypass those timelines sometimes, or others are just trying to spring in some drama. Oh, I was right about that. It happened and all that. And that's fine. That's ego energies, whatever it might be. But the unknown, I wouldn't call it the scary energies or anything, but the unknown is really, not everything can be tapped into and predicted. And it's not always weather. It could be many things, as some of you know. So, and that's really where the ride is here. Can you handle it as things change? Let's see.